obvious here in January where he's got, you know, the truck stopped, here's your ticket for overweight. You know, he should have went away with that besides the other.
That's why we've asked Mr. Myers to try to put together a committee to understand
What the deal is.
The pilot is the issue.
Yeah.
Is the root cause.
On the courtroom, if you check up with Saratoga District 4, they can approve all your little stuff also. There's a whole group that approves courtrooms. Only because we put 80 in courtrooms, we have to go through them for anything we do in a courtroom. They're out there as a resource.
All right, appreciate it. We need them to sign the contract, right?
Yep. But they would do it before you. You just have your maintenance people call up there and they'll do it.
All right. Good.
I have a couple of things. First, there was a FOIL request that I placed a while back for the surveys from the 2008 comprehensive plan. I've yet to receive them. I know a number of other people have asked for those surveys as well. In this current copy of the draft from a month or so ago, it states, Section 10, public input results. Townwide citizen survey was conducted in spring of 2008. All landowners were invited to participate via the internet or paper copy. There was a 24% return rate. The complete results of this survey are contained in a separate document, Appendix B, which is available upon request from the town's clerk's office. Where is it? The first survey from the plan that was done in 1988 is in that vault. Where's the one from 2008? We've been asking repeatedly for that. Where is it? Anybody want to answer me?
No, it's not the forum for that. I'll talk with you offline.
It's supposed to be in the hands of the records office manager. It's still not here. Where is it? I think that needs to be addressed immediately. We're working on a comprehensive plan again. Some people might want to see those surveys.
I asked for them. I didn't get them either.
So we're going to work on that. Make sure we get those where they
Well,
belong.
I'll talk with you offline, all right?
Pardon me?
I'll talk with you offline.
That would be fine. Secondly, I'll address the board, but I'll start. Bob, I think you asked last month at the board meeting why we can't get along. I'll check my sarcasm at the door, okay? It's a real good question, and I think it deserves an answer. I've been silent for a variety of reasons, but mostly because I thought Princetown had changed. The civil neighborly Princetown, or the civil neighborly community that I've spent my life in, is gone somehow. Hillside Turkey Farm, where I worked when I was a kid, was my and many other people's example of what a real community was. When the owners needed help around the holidays, everybody from all over town pitched in. Our pay was small, but the sense of pride for helping our neighbor was a reward. And he reciprocated when we needed help. I recall once asking Lil McLean, the owner, after being assigned a job of shoveling manure from a barn, it must be nice to be the boss. You get to tell everybody what to do. And I never forgot his response. He admitted that it was. Then he said, you have one boss. But all those people that come here and buy turkeys from me are my boss. That's what's happened here. This board, and specifically Mike Joyce and Norman Miller, never grasped that concept. Probably never will. You work for us. We pay your salary. And we've had enough. Princetown was duped. We've been flooded with manufactured crises, storylines that can't be backed up, fictitious residents, and fake break-ins. 14 months. 14. Not one thing on your list of campaign gibberish have you accomplished. Nothing. Nothing. What have you done? Mishandled the town finances and its process, tried to disrupt our efficient and responsive clerk's office for requests and records management. Think this is funny? I don't think it's funny at all. You meddled with our highly respected town court and justice for sexist and political reasons. No. Our long-serving former town clerk, to help you understand that situation, sent you an email, Mr. Joyce. And he CC'd the board. Y'all remember that? Came from my wife. You remember that? You don't remember? Her letter was answered by your deputy, not you. That's interesting. I guess his head is so far up your backside that we can't tell where he stops and you start. You've corrupted the planning board and comp plan committee with your hand-picked chairperson who apparently can't control her contempt for the residents. By the way, why is she still on the planning board? Maybe we should play that little
I got it.
in public. And you owe us an apology, not her, Mr. Joyce. Remember who you work for? Us. You replaced an objective, neutral law firm to conduct all the town's legal affairs with someone whose expertise is in labor and unemployment law. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Not correct.
No. If you,
I read your resume.
yeah, if you read the resume, you'd see I served as corporation counsel for the city of Schenectady.
Correct. When was that?
That was from 1992 to 1996.
Mr. Alderzinski was mayor?
No, he was not.
He was not.
No. Frank Ducey was the mayor then.
Who was it?
Frank Ducey,
Oh, Franklin, okay.
right. And the city of Schenectady is about 30 times the size of this town.
Mhm.
And I had a legal staff there of about 10 persons. When I was chairman of the Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board, I had a staff of 240. 120 of them were administrative law judges. I headed the state's Public Employment Relations Board, where I had jurisdiction over 1.2 million public workers in the state of New York, and issued hundreds of administrative decisions affecting municipalities all across the state of New York. So I think it's a little disingenuous to say I only know public sector labor relations.
Not here to impugn your work, sir, that's not the point.
Now you're here. That's right.
That is not the point. The point is that if you look at the Princetown record from the highways, 2 miles of highway were taken over in this town in the late 80s and early 90s. The town attorney lived on one of those roads. That's what I call self-interest. We went from a $5,000 bill to approximately $50,000 now to take care of those roads. My concern is that every time that happens, and we got away from that for that specific reason, and interestingly, we're back to it, and I'd like to know why. I served 8 years in those seats, and another 20 as a volunteer on committees in this town. This is the most bizarre behavior our town has ever had to endure. Slash and burn and destroy. And as was mentioned earlier, and unfortunately Mr. Miller isn't here, just ask the people in the Altamont and the Altamont Fair Board what he did over there, and Muriel Peterson, and Nick Marr, and Melanie Whiteley. You substituted public service with arrogance and intimidation. Bob, I was one of the first people you met when you came to town, if I recall. Thought I treated you pretty well. I'm going to ask you this very sincerely. If you've grown a conscience recently, good for you. If you're afraid of your paycheck, shame on you. The Circus Act is over. The town's watching, and Princetown hasn't changed. And the clock's ticking, gentlemen.
Additional public comment? All right, we'll close public
I do.
comment.
One more. Don't roll your eyes at me. Just to answer your question, but that you
You
mentioned.
gotta address the
about-
board, Lisa.
Hold on.
No.
He asked
Address
about
the
the.
board,
No,
address the
no,
board.
this is-
No, look,
this
it's
is
9
public
o'clock.
comment. Let me talk. You're infringing on my time. It'll take about 2 seconds.
That's out of order. It's out of order. Follow the
So are
rules
you.
that are written.
So
Yeah.
are you.
That are
Lisa,
written.
please,
So
address
are you.
Do you
your
wanna
comment,
read
All I'm
Lisa.
trying
Please,
to
go ahead,
say-
go.
Well, if she would
Go.
keep quiet, I would, okay? All
Lisa,
I'm trying,
go ahead and address the board. Come on.
okay, all I'm trying to say is, when I asked for the surveys, I was told it was too much of a hot button issue. And that's why I didn't get them. And they aren't located here. They're located off-site. I know where they are, and you all know where they are. My point initially in asking for those surveys was so, and you know exactly what it was for, because you agreed with me. Because it was about the C1 district. That was my interest, no other interest, nothing political, nothing driven. I just wanted to read some of the comments that people wrote. I don't think it was a lot to ask. I've yet to get them. That, in that request, that you agreed with me, you were gonna sit with me, Joe was gonna sit with me, we were all gonna go through them, just to read them, okay? Got Pat Bishop against, that's where that whole wrath started with her, okay? And I've yet to see him. So I don't think you'll see him, Mr. Kessler. Sorry.
Additional public comment?
Sandy Brzezinski, 1990 Ennis Road. I've been coming to these meetings before the present board. And I spoke a few times when the previous board was here. And I have not seen the depth at which this board explains things so that those of us sitting here can understand better how this local government works. And the thing is, I have to say that many people who have come up to the podium for public comment have not spoken on items related to town business. Okay? They should be ruled out of order. If a person has a particular issue with another member, present or not present, I urge the board to rule that person out of order. Another thing that I have noticed and that persists is that all the town members each have certain jobs, certain liaison positions. For example, Mr. Myers has the Parker's Corners, etc. There's a committee for that. Is that not right? That is right. There's a chairperson on that committee, and Mr. Myers is the liaison. So this particular issue of setting things straight concerning the traffic pattern, etc., and the danger, why is it taking so long to resolve this issue? Is it the committee? Is it the chairperson? Or is it the liaison? I don't know. But it's like, why don't things get done? And the other thing is, I've heard Mr. Edwards say a lot, abstain, abstain, abstain. Well, if you're not part of a certain liaison or committee, and you haven't done your homework, then you're not serving the people.
You're out of order.
Okay? I am speaking to the board. I'm not speaking to anyone behind me. And so I would like that some things be changed, that people who are out of order are out of order. And if you have an issue with a person, an individual, then take it up with him or her. And each of you, each board member must be responsible to all the citizens, not just the people with whom you live around. And this is what I see. This is where I see the division. And as far as people coming into Princetown and compared to those who lived here and their great-grandfathers lived here, we are all citizens of Princetown. We all pay our taxes. No one individual has more right than another one. And this is something that needs to be emphasized. And if each person cooperates on the board with each other. Now, my understanding is that there are 5 board members, and one person is the person who was elected as supervisor. Okay? You can't all be chiefs, and you're not all Indians, but there is one chief, and he deserves the respect that the people of the town gave him when they voted him in. And all of this bickering is so petty, not sounds, it is so petty. Let's keep things into perspective. We're a town, what is it, 22, 2,200? Not even 22,000. Some people need to just get off their high horse. And it's up to you to monitor this podium. Thank you.
I'm sorry, but according to New York State law, your supervisor is your chief financial officer. Your town has a legislative board and an elective, and your executive office is your town board. They are the same. He leads the town board as far as a position of reading the agenda items for the day. He signs your checks. That's what your supervisor does. He's not the CEO of your town. That board is the CEO of your town. That board is your legislature. They are one in the same. Understand that. I just have to clarify that. I apologize, but they are both the legislative and the executive branch in this town together. The supervisor just organizes this meeting and he signs the checks. And it's very important that everybody understand that. The supervisor, not the CEO. We went through this in Rotterdam, and it got cranked down under one of the administrations in the last 5 years. So I apologize for stepping up on that.
No.
But just understand they are both the same, executive and legislative.
All right, we'll close public comment at 9:40. Houston Daylight Time. Councilman concerns. We'll start at the left with our senior councilman, Mr. Myers. Thoughts, concerns? Etc.
Well, I do have a lot of concerns on my mind, and I don't know where to begin, but I would just ask you, okay, you said I need to have a conscience. Okay, my father was a minister, I've been brought up in a Christian home. I do feel I have a conscience, okay? And this may not mean anything to you, but you would be very surprised how many times before our meetings I have prayed about these meetings, okay? I have prayed because I've been concerned about some of the issues in our town and some of what's been going on. So I do feel I have a conscience. I do feel that I have been trying to be a conscientious and an honest board member for our town. I have tried to be there for everybody and anybody, okay? People can say what they want to, okay? I have tried to take my stand, okay? Vote my conscience, my feelings, okay? I'm 150% American. I am not for taking and adding more, I'm not for taking rights away from our people, even in a small town, okay? So I'm not sure, and again, I'm not attacking you, Paul, I'm at a loss
I was
about
not
what you meant
attacking your
about me not.
conscience, Bob. I was not attacking your personal conscience. I'm
Okay.
attacking the
Bob,
method by
Bob,
which
Bob,
you allowed
please
us
keep
to
it
happen.
to your concerns.
I-
This is an open debate, okay?
No, that was just one of my concerns.
Thank you. Let's
Then-
move on.
We'll discuss it after, Bob.
Yeah, no problem. Just in regards to Sandy's, sometimes some of these projects that we have, okay, you wonder why it takes so long, okay? Some of these projects are not easy, okay? Dealing with this truck situation, okay? Where do you start? Do you talk to the owner of the place? Okay, what are you gonna do? They're not gonna really probably do much of anything.
Well, as a
They've
board
already-
member, you should know where to start.
No, but this is what I'm saying. They've already put signs up, okay, no parking out there, okay? We don't want them down here, but, I mean, again, it's things that take time and have to be analyzed, looked at, okay? And it just doesn't happen overnight. Same thing with Parker's Corners, okay? That's been going on for some time, okay? We've had to be in touch with the state people, we've had to be in touch with the county people. Again, it just doesn't happen overnight. So I was just trying to give a little explanation as to why some of these things are still dragging their feet, because a lot of this is, you know, a lot of work behind the scenes. So, other than that, got a lot more to say, but I won't.
Thank you, Sarah. Mr. Jazinski.
Okay, I have a lot more to say, but I'm going to keep it short because it's getting late. First thing is reviewing the vouchers for this month. I noticed that we had purchases for toner and ink and crumbs for 3 printers / fax machines that amounted to more than $200. And it seems to me that with that beautiful sharp printer that we have in there that can get faxes and send, scan and print and everything, I think maybe we ought to think about start phasing out some of these old technology and just stay with the ones